Good evening and welcome to UBC News Tonight. Now, it is just a few hours until Uganda heads to the polls to vote a leader for the 2026 general elections. Now, lots of preparations have been made. Sensitization has also been made. Ugandans are ready, and we're here to show you how Ugandans are ready. My name is Lauryn Masika Kazimoto, and together with my colleague in sign language interpretation, that is Elizabeth Nakakoni. Now, if we can go straight into how much Ugandans are ready now, according to the Electoral Commission, registered voters in Uganda stands at 21.6 million. And if we can look at the registered voters per region, we look at the West Nile region standing at 1,394,343. Kampala takes the lion's share with 5,871,635. The Southwest region stands at 2,724,128. And of course, we see the Western region with 2,748,917. Going into the Eastern region, it stands at 1,096,255. Not forgetting the Central North at 1,003,745. Let us also look at the Karamoja region. The lowest so far registered voters stands at 425,044. Now, who are the candidates who are vying for the highest seat in the nation come the 2026 general elections? We have 8 candidates who are vying for this highest seat in the 2026 general election. And like as you can see on the screen, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni for the NRM party. We have Mugisha Muntu for the ANT party. Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, who is for the National Unity Platform party. We also see Nandala Mafabi for the FDC party, which also is the Forum for Democratic Change party. Munyagwa Mubarak coming in for the Common Man's party. Joseph Mabirizi for the Conservative Party. Robert Kasibante coming in for NPP, which stands for the National Peasant Party. And then finally, Bulira Frank Kabinga, who is for the RPP Party, which also is the Revolutionary People's Party. Now let's go candidate by candidate so that you can get to know the candidates who are standing for the presidential seat. Yoweri Kaguta Museveni for the National Resistance Movement NRM party, who is also the current president of Uganda, born 15th September 1944 in Ntungamo district in Uganda, is a veteran Ugandan politician, revolutionary leader and soldier who has served as president of Uganda since the 26th of January 1986. He was educated at Chamate Primary School, Mbarara High School, Ntare School and the University of Dar es Salaam, where he studied economics and political science and became deeply involved in Pan-African and liberation ideologies. Museveni led the National Resistance Army, the NRA Army, to power after a 5-year guerrilla war that ended years of political instability. And under his leadership, Uganda has experienced relative stability, economic liberation, and growth in infrastructure, education, healthcare, and regional influence, including peacekeeping missions in Somalia. Looking at our next presidential aspirant, retired General Mugisha Muntu, who is also vying for the presidential seat under the Alliance for National Transformation Party, ANT party. Born in 1958, he is a Ugandan politician and retired military officer, known for his disciplined leadership style, integrity, and commitment to institutional development. He joined the National Resistance Army during the Bush War and rose through the ranks to become Army Commander between 1989 and 1990. 1998, where he was credited with professionalizing the armed forces and instilling discipline. After leaving the army, Muntu entered opposition politics, serving as president of the Forum for Democratic Change (FDC) party from 2012 to 2017. In 2019, he founded the Alliance for National Transformation (ANT). Following internal disagreements with FDC, he has contested for the presidency and consistently advocates for gradual democratic reform, strong party structures, and ethical leadership rooted in institutions rather than personalities. Next, also vying for the presidential seat is FDC's Nandala Mafabi, born 17th January 1966 in Soronko district. He is a Ugandan politician, economist, and seasoned legislator. He studied economics at Macquarie University and later earned a master's degree in development economics from the University of Manchester. He has served as, in the Forum for Democratic Change, he served as the Secretary General and also chaired the Parliament's Public Accounts Committee, gaining national prominence for exposing financial mismanagement and also promoting accountability in government. His farm oversight role and grassroots mobilization skills. Mafabi is regarded as a very strong advocate for democratic governance and economic justice. New entrant Joseph Mabirizi, who is under the Conservative Party, born in July 1975 in Impigi district. He is a Ugandan politician, electrical engineer, and Christian leader. He is the flag bearer of the Conservative Party for the 2026 general elections, having previously contested in the presidency of the 2016 as an independent candidate. So that means the Conservative Party is a new party that was formed recently. Mabirizi's early education took place at Katwe Primary School and St. John's Secondary School in Mityana district. He trained in electrical engineering at Mengo Technical Institute and holds an advanced diploma in electrical engineering science from the City and Guilds of London Institute, as well as a diploma earned in Bloemfontein in South Africa. Mabirizi first appeared on the presidential ballot in 2016 as an independent, and after a period of focusing on grassroots engagement and political reforms and advocacy, he returned to the national stage in September 2025 when the Electoral Commission officially nominated him as the Conservative Party's 2026 presidential candidate. Now, popularly known as Mugati Gwabata, we can call it battered bread in English, the Common Man's Party, CMP, Munyagwa Mubarak. He is a former member of parliament for Kawempe South, and he has served as mayor of Kawempe Division and is the founder and president of the Common Man's Party, launched in 2025. Born in Chitagwenda district in western Uganda, Munyagwa grew up largely in central Uganda. He completed his O-level education at Chitagwenda High School in 1996 and A-level at Nakasero Secondary School in 1999, later earning a diploma in law from the Law Development Center in 2014, and known for his populist rhetoric, humor-filled speeches, street mobilization, and unconventional political style. Munyagwa appeals strongly to urban and informal sector voters while remaining a popularizing figure in national politics. The RPP party, which is the Revolutionary People's Party, has produced Bulida Frank Kabinga as its presidential candidate. He is a Ugandan lawyer, politician, and civic leader, active in national governance debates. He's trained as an advocate. He has practiced law and used his legal background to engage in public advocacy on constitutionalism, justice and democratic reform. Bulida has participated in opposition politics and contested for elective office, particularly within Kampala, where he has built recognition as a thoughtful and articulate public figure. He emphasizes citizen empowerment, adherence to the rule of law, and leadership accountability, positioning himself as a part of Uganda's emerging reform-oriented political class. And we have Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, aka Bobby Wine, for the National Unity Platform. Born on the 12th of February 1982 in Gomba district, he is a Ugandan politician, musician, activist, and former ghetto youth icon. Educated at Makerere University, where he studied music, dance, and drama. Kyagulanyi built a successful music career using his art to highlight poverty, corruption, and social injustice. He entered the polls in 2017 after winning at the Kyadondo East parliamentary by-election as an independent candidate. Well, that's where he later became the president of the National Unity Platform, NUP party. Uganda's largest opposition party by parliamentary numbers, Bobby Wine emerged as a leading symbol of youth-led political change and contested the 2021 presidential elections, finishing second. And here for the NPP party, the National Peasants Party, Robert Kasibante, born in 1988 in Busuju, Mityana district. He is a Ugandan entrepreneur, vocational trainer, and politician, standing as a presidential candidate for the 2026 general election. He represents the National Peasants Party, a political organization focused on rural development, youth empowerment, and equitable economic growth. Kasibante holds a bachelor's degree in business administration and a master's degree in human resource management from Makerere University Business School. After university, he turned to vocational education and founded the Victory School of Beauty and Hospitality Management in 2015, which has trained thousands of Ugandan youth in cosmetology, hospitality, business, and technical skills. On governance, Kasibante promotes accountability and fiscal responsibility and has called for systemic changes to improve transparency in public office. Before joining the NPP, Kasibante was formerly associated with the ruling National Resistance Movement Party and has defended his political switch as part of normal democratic realignment. The Electoral Commission has assured Ugandans that all arrangements are in place for the general election scheduled to begin tomorrow. Speaking to the media this evening at the National Tally Center in Lugoa, the Commission Chairman, Justice Simon Byabakama Mugenyi, said every eligible voter will be allowed to cast their ballot even without a valid national ID or a voter's slip, provided their names appear on the voters' register.
The Electoral Commission, led by its chairman, commissioners and other senior officials, has announced that preparations for the forthcoming polls are complete.
The Electoral Commission completed the delivery of all the materials for the presidential and parliamentary elections to the districts and cities across the country. Tomorrow, the polling kits will be delivered to the respective polling stations so that polling commences at 7 a.m.
Speaking from the National Tally Center at Rubowa, Justice Simon Byabakama addressed the nation at a gathering attended by election observers, political party representatives, and the other key stakeholders.
The Commission, therefore, wishes to dismiss the false information which has circulated on social media that voters will vote for individual candidates on separate days. That is false. Just dismiss it and disregard it in its entirety. After the final process of cleaning up the National Voters Register, the total number of registered voters in Uganda are as follows: 50,739 polling stations. The number of registered voters is 21,681,491.
Byabakama said the commission is fully prepared and urged citizens to turn up early at polling stations to elect their leaders and actively participate in the democratic process. He furthermore emphasized that every registered voter will be allowed to vote even without a national identity card, as long as their name appears on the voters register.
So the fact that a voter does not have a VLS is not a bar or a hindrance to that voter coming to the polling station to be identified. As long as one is a registered voter on the polling register of that polling station, he or she will be identified and allowed to vote, even without a voter location slip or national ID. We're emphasizing this because we understand in some areas or quarters, word was going around that if you don't have a voter location slip or a national ID, you will not be allowed to vote.
He also appealed to citizens to maintain peace before, during, and after the polling exercise.
So please, we urge the members of the public and all peace-loving, good-intentioned citizens of this country, heed the call of the Electoral Commission that leave the polling stations, leave room for other voters to come.
Meanwhile, Muslim leaders gathered at Kololo airstrip for last-minute prayers, asking Allah to guide the country through a peaceful and successful election. The Executive Director of Kampala Capital State Authority, her counterpart from the National Environment Management Authority, Sheikh Gugu alongside Sheikh Obedi Kamlegea and other leaders, prayed for unity and peace across the country.
Omusajja atali munankuusi, omusajja atatiitira, omusajja atalina nsonga yonna jangu obeerewo.
However, the leaders urged citizens to respect security forces, warning that acts of provocation could spark unnecessary violence.
Abantu mweyise bulungi bemmala okulonda mu ddeeka nga bw'abagambye.
Nasabidde abasibe baganda baffe abali mu makomera pulezidenti afune pardon abasonyiwe. Nja kufuba kulaba kyensobola nga abasiraamu nange nettafali lyenkola ki ati si omutukanga mujja n'oyo mugamba omusajja oyo akole ki ayitewo asimu ng'abasiraamu okubeera nga naffe ati si omutima gwange nze nganze ne bannange muwufu nnyo kubanga nze njagaliza nnyo omusiraamu yenna waaba akola ki waaba ali.
Amwaye Vanjuko and Mike Bakabulindi for UBC.
Uganda Police Force has displayed its operational security assets in Kampala as part of measures to ensure the safety of people and their property during and after the elections. Police say the deployment is meant to enforce law and order without intimidating the public.
The displayed operational assets include an aircraft for area policing, motorcycles for rapid response, patrol trucks, tear gas trucks and other public order management equipment. The Inspector General of Police, Abbas Byakagaba, flagged off the security display drive in Kampala's Central Business District. Major hotspots including Kawempe, Makerere, Chiseka Market and parts of Rubaga have been prioritized during the security assets display. Police have dismissed claims that the deployment is meant to intimidate the public, insisting that the exercise is intended to reassure citizens of their safety and protection of their property.
What you see being displayed by police is not intended to intimidate you, but it is a part of our operational posture. We are fond of utilizing all our capabilities. Those assets you see were procured for the police of Uganda.
Police say other intentions for the deployment and display of the security apparatus include countering any subversive activities that may arise during the election period.
Those are the non-lethal assets we put in place just in the event that some members of society choose to be riotous or cause public disorder. But otherwise, our end state is to have a secure election and a peaceful Uganda.
The public has been urged to comply with all announced electoral laws and guidelines to ensure a peaceful and secure electoral environment.
There are also election laws that govern the conduct of all citizens during this entire election cycle. The appeal of Uganda Police Force and other security agencies is follow those laws. Simple. The laws are there, follow them. We shall have no situation where we shall find ourselves in a disagreement.
Police have also defended the deployment of the army, stating it is within the Security Cooperation Framework, which mandates all security agencies to work jointly during critical periods and safeguard national security. Komagum Rogers and Abdul Nasir Wama for UBC.
The Regional Electoral Officer, Kampala Region, Jennifer Chobotunji, has confirmed that all required equipment for Kampala Region has been already sent to the different polling storage centers across the region. Chobotunji has affirmed that only accredited candidates will be allowed at the polling stations, including the 2 polling agents, and no one will be allowed to stay at the polling station.
Have distributed all the materials required for 15th.
All voting material for Kampala region has already been dispatched to different polling storage centers across the region in preparation for tomorrow. The Regional Electoral Officer, Kampala region, Jennifer Chobotunji, says irrespective of the internet cutoff, all voting equipment to be manned digitally will be up and running.
The network of these machines is offline, so we are going to use the machines. For them, they are going to work. They will not fail. So we expect everyone to at least adhere.
Kampala region includes districts like Mukono, Buvuma, Wachiso, Uyikwe, and Kampala. The 5 divisions of Kampala will have their main tally center in Kololo.
We shall have one tally center for all the 5 divisions, and this tally center is at Kololo.
Chobotunji has asked candidates to adhere to campaign deadlines, desist from secret campaigns, and lobbying for votes at polling stations.
At this time, we don't expect any candidate to campaign in any way, in any form of campaigns.
She notes that no single individual will be allowed to stay at the polling station after voting, and further asked voters to trust the electoral process and avoid the illegality of attempting to crowd the polling station or tally center.
So it's only those who will be accredited to come there who will come. It's not for everyone. And also in the field at the polling stations, we expect 2 agents per polling station. These agents must come with their letters of introduction from their candidates. What does this mean? It means the candidates have entrusted these 2 agents to be the one to keep an eye on their on the whole process of polling.
Voters have been reminded to come with either their national identity cards or voter slips as long as they are registered voters.
Because they help to show them where they're going to vote from. Even us, they help us to at least identify you very fast before you have put your fingerprint on the machine. But either you have it or not, you will still vote.
Susan Naung and Robert Katamba reporting for EBC TV.
Police in Palisa town has today morning been involved in a running battle with a group of people said to be supporters of one Julius Okorut Arecho, who later flocked the district headquarters wanting to chase the resident district commissioner out of office, blaming him of forcing them to support one Ibrahim Aisu, the NRM flag bearer. The angry residents claim the RDCs are causing divisions in the party supporters, yet the district is an NRM stronghold. Now, sources said Julius Okorut, an independent aspiring MP for Palisa County, attended a meeting attended by the aspiring candidates, but on his call return from the meeting, he was attacked by a young suspected to be his opponent that assaulted him, leading him to being hospitalized in critical condition in Mbale Regional Referral Hospital.
Because RDC called a meeting for the candidates. Our candidates came for the meeting. When he's going back on your easy way, was attacked by the opponent supporters.
And RDC is getting involved in Palisa's politics, and yet he's not here supposed to do that. Yesterday they almost killed Honorable Kurut in Palisa. He was involved with the policemen who are trying to stop us today. We want RDC out of Palisa. We want peace in Palisa.
The RDC, who's supposed to keep peace and give us peace security in Palisa, is again deciding to be on the side of the other candidate. Last night, they decided to beat our man, our candidate, whom we want. Is it the one to decide for us?
We are going to call your leaders to be with us in the meeting. They raise the concerns one by one. We put them in writing and we forward them to the president. So, listen, after here, when you leave this place, immediately we are going for a security meeting. RPC is here. DPC, I'm the one you are seeing me. Riso is here. We are going to handle everything. We have been talking and settle. Be calm. Tomorrow, wake up very early. Go and vote. Let us be not violent. Please, I beg of you.
UBC News Tonight. The Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, His Grace Dr. Stephen Samuel Kazimba Mugalu, has called upon Ugandans to turn up in large numbers and cast their votes as the country heads to the elections. He says voting is not only a constitutional right, but also a biblical duty, thus calling upon security agencies to protect citizens and maintain peace throughout the electoral process.
Carry the ballot papers, the register, the cordoning tapes.
Uganda's 10 elections are set to commence tomorrow, January 15, 2026, and the atmosphere across the country reflects the anticipation. Speaking to UBC TV, the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, the Most Reverend Dr. Stephen Samuel Kazimba Mugalu, emphasized that voting is biblical before it is constitutional, urging Ugandans to participate actively in choosing their leaders.
From Proverbs chapter 18, verse 18, the Bible says, casting a vote settles disputes and also helps to have one who is more powerful. Proverbs 16:33 says, a lot is casted in the lap, but it's God who chooses and makes the results of it. In the morning, wake up, go and vote, because it is your God-given mandate.
Kazimba further called on voters to respect one another during the electoral period, noting that elections are seasonal, but unity is permanent.
Everybody, we keep the peace, because peace is very, very important. We belong to different parties, but we are Ugandans. We belong to different tribes, but we are Ugandans. We belong to different regions, but we are all God's people. We should remember that voting or elections is just an event.
He also cautioned security agencies to uphold their mandate of protecting citizens rather than intimidating them.
Do your job of ensuring that there is peace maintained, and all the people and all of us, each one of us, will ensure we have peace with God, peace with each other, and peace with you and you, so that after the end of it all, we'll come back as Ugandans.
When asked about calls for voters to remain at the polling stations during vote counting, Archbishop Kazimba had this to say.
What our leaders are guiding us, that is very important, but also you as a person, what does it mean that will give you peace and keep your life? I think that's very important. At least if anything, ensure by the time they are counting it, you are there. At least 3 or 3:30, you are there, so that you wait.
The Archbishop concluded by urging those who will be elected into office to serve Ugandans diligently if entrusted with leadership.
Those who are going to win, it's God who puts you there. Respect others, don't provoke others. To a message. No. It is your time, but also this one is a person. And you, if you lose, please remember that's not the end of it all. The end of the rope is not the end of the hope. There is a hope even after elections.
Rebecca Nantongo, Rogers Komagum, for your business.
You used to tell me that I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby dondolo.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks, Kubi Dondolo. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000, or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100*21# and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Kabogos, where are you coming from?
From NSSF.
NSSF? You traveled all the way from Namaguli to get NSSF services. Lekanawe. NSSF is now everywhere. Come on, I show you.
Yakabande pakabanda Register for NSSF I'll contribute to your Simade life Never deep down in the Barara Make NSSF payments No wahala okubeka langala NSSF sure is not far But tomorrow kuhika gotido Enjoy NSSF from where you are.
Access NSSF services right where you live. With over 20,000 quick teller agents across Uganda, now you can conveniently register yourself, make NSSF payments and contributions to your Smart Life account, Jubira. NSSF, a better life.
Welcome home to entertainment, to Wi-Fi everywhere, to high-speed internet, security, to first-class support. To convenience. Welcome home to MTN WakaNet, superior internet for every home. Visit www.mtn.co.ug/wakanet. Welcome home. Together, we are unstoppable.
This is our home, our land, our Uganda. From the rolling hills to the busy streets, from the farmers in the fields to the students in classrooms, we are one people. Elections are a time to choose our leaders, not to fight our brothers and sisters. When violence enters the ballot box, the future of our country is wounded. But when peace leads the way, our nation grows stronger. On election day, choose unity over diversion, respect over hatred, and dialogue over distraction. Love your country, protect your fellow citizens, stand for peace, and say no to electoral violence. This message is brought to you by the Global Election Observation Mission, GEOM, in partnership with the Uganda Electoral Commission. Informed citizens, strong nation.
No Yoweri Museveni ayogera enkya kulonda ebiseera byaffe by'omu maaso nkukubiriza omulanga okukuba akalulu nkakasa nti ebyokwerinda byaffe byebisinga okutwala ng'ebikulu ebitongole byaffe byetegese bulungi ebifo by'okulonderwamu bikumibwa era abasirikale abatendeke bajja kubeerawo okulaba nti wabaawo emirembe n'obukuumi tewabaawo okutiisatiisa bambi goberera okulambikibwa kw'abakungu b'ebyokulonda n'abalondesa tulage ensi nti demokolasiya waffe w'amaanyi wa mirembe era wa bumu webale nnyo era Katonda awe eggwanga lyaffe omukisa.
Welcome back from that break. We are glad that you're still with us here in UBC News tonight. Now, President Museveni has issued detailed strategic directives to the National Resistance Movement structures across the country, ordering an aggressive last-mile mobilization drive ahead of the upcoming elections. In a letter dated 12th January 2026 and addressed to party chairpersons and executive members at branch, ward and village level, the NRM chairperson lays out strict targets, timelines and accountability measures. Here's the report.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has directed national resistance movement structures at branch, ward and village level to intensify last-mile mobilization, warning that compliance in the past elections has contributed to low voter turnout and a high number of invalid votes. In the letter dated 12th January 2026, Museveni reflects on elections held in 1996, 2001, 2006, 2011, 2016 and 2021, saying that ignorance and weak vote education among sections of the electorate have undermined participation. He says the NRM must take responsibility for changing that trend, describing the party as a beacon of hope with the capacity to address complex societal challenges through discipline and organization. Museveni tells party leaders that united effort and diligence at grassroots level will be key to securing victory. He invokes Tubaganda sayings, agali awamu ge galuma ennyama and obwato bufa magoba, to emphasize collective action. Under what he terms performance-based last-mile mobilization, the president directs that each village executive mobilization team of 63 members must mobilize and physically move with at least 4 voters each to the polling station. This translates into a total of 252 voters per village team. In highly populated urban areas such as Kampala, Wakiso and Mukono, each of the 63 members is required to mobilize at least 7 voters, bringing the target to 441 voters per team in those urban centers. Using an estimate of about 71,000 villages across the country, Museveni projects that the mobilization approach could potentially yield approximately 18,232,200 votes. He instructs all branches to immediately convene village meetings and assign clear responsibilities to each of the 63 mobilization team members, referred to as abasaguzi, to avoid what he calls okukongola. The president also orders strict documentation of mobilized voters. Exercise books have been provided to record voters who consent, including their names and phone contacts where available. He says this will help reconcile party figures with Electoral Commission numbers. According to Museveni, the records will allow the party to track performance in real time at village, parish, sub-county, municipality, district and city level. He describes this approach as accountability-based leadership and mobilization. The directive also places emphasis on vulnerable groups. Museveni directs party executive leaders at village, branch and ward level to volunteer support for elderly voters and persons with disabilities who may face challenges reaching polling stations. He encourages youth league members to take the lead in assisting vulnerable voters and notes that persons with visual impairment are by law allowed to select a person of their choice to help them in the voting process. He urges party executives to be available where such assistance is requested. On time management, Museveni instructs all members to arrive at polling stations early, ideally by 7 a.m. at the opening of polls, to maximize turnout and streamline the voting process. The president also urges vigilance and open communication in case of security concerns or disruptions. He directs party leaders to share their contact information with security personnel deployed across the country so that any issues can be addressed promptly. On results management, Museveni orders that election results and mobilization exercise books be retrieved on the same day by each district. He directs that the results be reported directly to the NRM Electoral Commission to facilitate what he describes as a robust and accountable electoral process. In his closing remarks, Museveni calls for unity, determination and commitment, saying collective effort is required to secure a successful election outcome and reaffirm the NRM position as a party that listens and responds to the needs of the people. He ends the letter with the words, "Numbers don't lie."
A National Resistance Army historical, Colonel Samson Mande, has asked all Ugandans to ensure preservation and protection of peace and stability as they cast their vote. In an exclusive interview with our UBC News crew at his residence in Nakasero, Kampala, Samson Mande advised Ugandans to be law-abiding during and after the polls for sustainable peace and tranquil.
Votes are very important. Your votes count. You know, you can lose a candidate because of one single vote.
As Ugandans go to the polls this Thursday, a National Resistance Army bush war hero, Colonel Samson Mande, has called for the protection of the prevailing peace and tranquility for sustainable development.
Even if you had money, gold, silver and diamond, let's look at our brothers and sisters in the DRC. The most rich country, the richest country on earth is the DRC, but they have remained the poorest because they have no peace. They have not known peace for decades.
In an interview with the UBC News crew in Kampala, Colonel Mande reminded the public that prevailing peace in the country is a result of bravery by patriotic Ugandans who sacrificed their lives, time and resources that can only be protected through voting wisely and peacefully.
Protecting our gains and mainly protecting peace. That is why I lean to the leader and the party that brought in peace. This country was also in turmoil for many years before we went, and I'm happy to be one of those who went to fight for peace.
Mande explained that restoring peace, order and tranquility can be expensive and called for caution as the nation reaches the climax of the voting exercise that began with campaigns that he described to have been peaceful.
Once we don't have peace, we don't talk about development. You can't go to school, you can't go to Kikubu to trade, you can't find clean water, hospitals that are flourishing. You can't build your houses, very design houses, posh cars you drive, the work you do throughout the night, day and night. The money I see some of you flashing in birthdays and weddings is because this country is peaceful.
Colonel Samson Mande, who participated in the Luwero Liberation War and later on went into a 2 decades-long self-imposed exile that ended recently after making peace with government, commends President Lauryn Masika Kazimoto for ensuring a united and peaceful Uganda.
To live as a refugee, I've lived as one, it is very painful. So we can't take it for granted. Protecting our gains and mainly protecting peace. That is why I lean to the leader and the party that brought in peace. This country was also in turmoil for many years.
Ugandans across the country are this Thursday electing a president and members of parliament.
Turn out, come in time for
UBC News Tonight. The Eastern African Standby Force Election Observation Mission from 7 member states are in Uganda to observe tomorrow's general elections in accordance with Eastern Africa Standby Force guidelines on election observation. The team is headed by the head of mission, His Excellency Ambassador Ndabarushimana Diodun from Burundi, including the Special Advisor, Right Honorable Bernard Manisa from Rwanda, and Souf Kamalidini from the Eastern African Standby Force, among others.
A delegation of election observers from the Eastern Africa Standby Force has arrived in Uganda ahead of tomorrow's general elections. Addressing the media at Protea Hotel, Kampala Skies, the head of mission, His Excellency Ambassador Ndabarushimana Diodone, said the team will assess the electoral process and report on the conduct of the elections in accordance with Uganda's legal and constitutional framework.
We are going to have some takeaways from this exercise that we should share with the others also on the same in the other country, because this is also a sharing experience mission. So we come as a family. It is we are special. That's what I told you. We came as a family because Uganda is a member of this Eastern Africa Standby Force, and as a family, you know, we don't come to push people to do what they don't want to do. We observe and then we advise. We advise because we have some tools to advise them.
Ambassador Ndabarushimana called on voters to exercise their civic and constitutional duties peacefully and lawfully with respect for the rule of law.
What we tell you, vote, vote and vote peacefully. Vote is something very important in the life of any citizen, in the life of any country. Vote peacefully, don't listen. You know, this nowadays, everywhere they are suffering from manipulation. They are suffering for social media.
He particularly urged Ugandans, especially youth, to remain calm and maintain peace throughout the electoral process.
This Gen Z, I don't wish this should be here. We don't want Uganda to have a Gen Z here. We want Uganda to be conscious of their life, of their future. We want people to vote peacefully, to don't follow what is happening everywhere. This is not a good example. What happened in Madagascar is not a good example. What happened everywhere is not a good example. Follow your own culture. You have some tools. You are rooted in our culture. Uganda culture is not Madagascar culture. It's not. Don't follow this kind of situation you see everywhere. And they want to take this as an example we should follow, especially the youth. The youth, be careful. Be careful. We have our culture. We have our wise to follow, which can tell us what we do, what we don't want to do.
The mission is guided by key normative frameworks, including the African Union Declaration on the Principles Governing Democratic Elections, the African Charter on Democracy, Elections and Governance, and the Global Declaration of Principles for International Election Observation. The delegation comprises 19 observers drawn from ESF member states, including Burundi, Comoros, Djibouti, Ethiopia, Kenya, Somalia, and Sudan.
The National Unity Platform President and Presidential Candidate Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu has called on election observers to give a true and factual account of what transpires during Uganda's electoral process. Kyagulanyi made the remarks today at his home in Magere, Kasangati, Wakiso District, where he met a delegation from the IGAD and the African Union Election Observers Mission. He briefed the observers on what he described as key challenges encountered during the campaign period, urging them to critically document and report realities on ground to ensure transparency and credibility in the elections. Meanwhile, Kyagulanyi appealed to Ugandans to turn up in large numbers to vote, emphasizing that voting is a constitutional right and a powerful tool for change. He also asked supporters to cast their votes in his favor.
On this one. What do you think? Definitely. Yeah. Young lady. How are you? Please.
Just observers come to Uganda, have been abducted, and the abductions continue, only to legitimize the irregularities. And we've challenged them to report exactly what they observe. More than 750 of our colleagues are in prison. Others have been abducted, and the abductions continue. To encourage all of you Ugandans to turn up in large numbers and vote. We have an opportunity to change our country, and we encourage you to turn up tomorrow and vote in record numbers. Looking for the vote has been concluded. Now the next vote is to cast that ballot. Please go and vote. Thank you. We wish all of you Ugandans victory tomorrow. Please turn out and vote.
The senior presidential advisor to the Office of the National Resistance Movement, Hajat Hadija Namyalo, has intensified the preparations and training of polling agents mandated to protect presidential party votes. While addressing the press, she urged Ugandans to go in big numbers and vote and cast their vote, a capable leader who will secure their future.
Tomorrow is the D-Day for the elections. And we are expecting a wider turn-up, and we urge all Ugandans to come and participate in this voting. For stability, the peace, empowerment, socio-economic transformation, we are expecting, as we demand for a return of our grandfather as a president, we call upon all Ugandans, come and vote in time, come and witness the opening of the ballot box, and to ensure that nothing has been intercepted. We shall be in our particular voting areas to ensure that we cast in the vote. As Office of the National Chairman, working hand in hand with State House, working hand in hand with the NRM Secretariat, we are going to make sure that safeguard the votes, we protect the votes, and our polling agents on the ground, they tutu that are legal in the Electoral Commission, the ones that we availed to the Electoral Commission have already received the appointment letters, and we are ready to protect and safeguard the vote. All our polling agents, stay firm, be focused, don't move around, just stay focused as you watch and witness the casting and ensure that nothing has been intercepted. As we keep an eye to the votes casted, the counting of votes, secure our DR forms and make sure they are signed and bring them to their respective place where we are expecting them at office of the national chairman.
A group of prominent women under their outfit dubbed the Women's Situation Room has set up regional violence prevention rooms to serve as peace centers throughout the electoral process. Born out of the election-related conflict, the Women's Situation Room is a non-political platform for women and youth to mitigate election-related conflict, de-escalate tensions and facilitate real-time response to violent incidents. Dr. Elizabeth Luanga of the Women's Situation Room Uganda says they intend to employ the same mechanism in the 2026 electoral process, encouraging Ugandans to utilize the availed toll-free numbers to share any violent incident.
Peace is in our hands.
The initiative, co-run with the Women International Peace Center, will host physical violence prevention rooms in Arua for the northern region, Jinja in the east, Hoima City to cater for the western region, while Kampala and Wakiso will focus on cases from the central region.
The other objective of the WSR is to promote the participation and the leadership of women in peace building. And I think it really has widened, at least in this continent, this to so many women. And that's why our process at the country level starts with mobilizing women and the youth, of course, and turn them into peace advocates.
According to Yvette Cheson-Ware, the initiator of the Women's Situation Room, riding on early warning and rapid response mechanisms, they have been able to prevent violence in different countries over the years.
The WSR is also tailored to each country's context. We do not do the WSR the same in every country, because every country has its own dynamics. And therefore, the women in that country decide which of our tools they're going to use. So you will have, when you go into Liberia, you will have different tools maybe used in Uganda or Nigeria or Sierra Leone or etc. Because we have a whole batch of tools and they use what they want.
Officiating the launch of Kampala Physical Room, being hosted at 4 Points by Sheraton Hotel in Kololo, was eminent woman Effie Owol, who acknowledged the role women leaders play in preventing violence.
That we are not just worried about women who are being beaten outside there, those who are being giving birth on queues, where there are conflicts involving women, but you are involved with each and every Ugandan. Yes. And our aim is that peace will be in our hearts for the whole of the post-election space is also very important. We will continue working with you all. We will continue working with the women and the youth to make sure that we are going to continue having the peace that we want, but also the peace that makes a difference in the lives of many in our communities, in the country, region, and also in our continent. Because the peace that we have in Uganda is the peace that we all want for the region, but also for the continent as well.
This letter led other stakeholders to register their pledges to uphold peace throughout the 2026 electoral process.
Steel Investment Uganda Limited, shaping the future of steel in East Africa and beyond. With an investment of over $100 million and a production capacity of 300,000 metric tons per annum, Unisteel is setting new standards in steel manufacturing. At our state-of-art facility, we produce TMX rebars, branded Unis TMX 500 CWR, and high-quality wire rods using only imported virgin steel billets. Every batch is tested and tracked for unmatched quality assurance. Our steel powers the region's most ambitious projects, from dams, skyscrapers to bridges and beyond. Unisteel, superior quality, trustworthy choice.
The Ministry
Ministry of Works and Transport, in collaboration with the Uganda Police Force, is rolling out the mandatory motor vehicle inspection services as one of the interventions to improve road safety, protect the environment, and safeguard the health and well-being of the public. The key items for inspection are the braking system, suspension system, the lighting system, the exhaust emissions, and the general mechanical conditions of the vehicles, among others. The exercise has commenced for all government vehicles, public service vehicles PSVs operating on fixed routes with route charts, private omnibuses PMOs, tourist vehicles, and those as may be referred by the Uganda Police Force in a dangerous mechanical condition. Other categories including private vehicles, light omnibuses, taxis, trucks and motorcycles will begin on a date to be communicated by the Minister of Works and Transport. The vehicle inspection centers are Kawanda on Bombo Road and Namamve on Jinja Road for motorcycles, light and heavy vehicles, Nabingo on Masaka Road and Namulanda on Entebbe Road for motorcycles and light vehicles. Mbale, Gulu and Bara inspection centers are for all categories of vehicles. The inspection fees have been significantly reduced to ensure compliance. Get your vehicles ready for inspection. Safer vehicles, safer road users, safer journeys. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Works and Transport.
Starting with 100,000 shillings, you begin building real financial strength, because wealth doesn't just happen, you build it. And the ones who start early end up ahead. Every deposit, every month, every little increase. This is how your money grows into wealth. Put your money to work with the experts at SBG Securities. Partner with us today on your investment journey.
SBG Securities. Keep growing for you, for them, forever.
When you want to relax your body and refresh your mind, welcome to Hotel La Confidential, Aroa's premier destination for luxury and comfort. The only hotel in Aroa City offering a serene atmosphere, breathtaking scenery. Come and discover our exclusive wellness club with packages that include a fully equipped gym, a rejuvenating sauna, steam bath, and a great sky blue swimming pool. For events, our state-of-art conference halls and versatile event spaces are perfect for hosting shows, wedding receptions, birthdays, and more. Come and enjoy our cinema hall and unisex saloon, all designed to meet your entertainment and grooming needs. Bring your family and let your kids splash around in our beautiful kids water park. We are located on Aroa Pakwachi Highway in the heart of Aroa City. Don't wait. Visit us on www.hotellaconfidential.com or call us on 0761 688 181.
Welcome back from that break, and now into some business. With just hours remaining before Ugandans head to the polls, the situation in Kampala city central remains calm and orderly. Businesses are operating normally as the country prepares for tomorrow's polling day. Saddam Mubale has more.
Downtown Kampala has remained calm and peaceful as the final hours to the general elections draw closer. Business operators across the city continued with their daily activities, with the shops open and customers going about their businesses as usual. Now, this is downtown Kampala, the heart of Uganda's business center. But as you can see, with just a few hours to voting tomorrow, business is as usual and everyone is going about their businesses normally here. Several residents we spoke to emphasized the importance of maintaining peace before, during and after the elections, calling on fellow Ugandans to exercise their right to vote responsibly.
ate banalangirira omuntu gwe balangiridde tugende n'oyo.
At major bus parks, there has been a noticeable increase in passenger numbers, and according to transport operators, many travelers are heading up country to participate in tomorrow's voting exercise. However, the surge in travel has led to some taxi and bus operators to increase transport fares, citing high demand.
So the increase, they are increasing. As today and yesterday, there are some changes in positive, increasing the passengers here.
The ongoing internet shutdown has further affected travelers, with some passengers reporting challenges in using mobile money services to pay transport fares.
And again, issues of mobile money. I was traveling to Lida today, reaching to the Namaiva bus terminal, going to the section of the taxis. Taxis are charging 50,000, imagine. Now I had 35 in the pocket cash. I have 15 mobile. I was like, let me send 15, they refused. Now that one has also hindered our transport means.
Speaking to the media, the chairperson of the Uganda National Traders Alliance, Godfrey Katongole, called upon the business community and the general public to turn up in large numbers to vote while maintaining peace and unity across the country.
Nenjagala okubategeeza nti obulamu bwaffe tebukoma lunaku lwankya. Tugambe nti waliyo obulamu obulala after okulonda. Ekisookera ddala tusaba okulonda kuno kubeere kwa bukakamu. Ffe nga abalonzi, abasuubuzi baffe mwenna mu ggwanga, tubasaba obutenyigira mu kwekalakaasa kwonna, tubasaba obutenyigira mu butabanguko bwonna. Bw'omala okulonda akaluluko, dewaka olinda akaluluko kasobola okubanga kabalibwa bakuwe results.
Meanwhile, the Uganda Patriotic Media Team has flagged off 200 election observers ahead of tomorrow's polling day.
Today, we have managed to launch our initiative because we believe that after election, we wouldn't want to see any violence or any harm to any of the youth.
The observers were cautioned to remain impartial, uphold professionalism, and adhere strictly to electoral guidelines as they carry out their duties.
So it is important because as a country we are heading towards general elections tomorrow. So it is a call to action to all Ugandans to focus.
Mubale, UBC News, Kampala.
And with that, UBC News Tonight has come to an end. We do encourage every Ugandan to vote tomorrow, because their vote is their right. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto, together with my colleague Elizabeth Nakakoni on Sign Language. We do wish you a good night.
Settle for the surface. I go deeper. At UBC News Tonight, we unpack the story behind the story. We don't chase for views. We pursue facts. The election, the economy, the promises made, and those kept.